stop somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, you hear that theme song and you know it's time for me to say greetings to the entire world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach and we communicate with you all around the globe, but from the beautiful, lovely Twin Island Federation of 2 islands and one lovely paradise called St. Kitts and Nevis. And my Straight Talk family, it is therefore imperative for me to say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, and good night to the entire world. I say good night to the Caribbean as well, because we do reach you all the way down south, all the way up north, and all around the Caribbean. Spanish speaking, French speaking, and of course the English speaking Caribbean. And we also reach and communicate with the Kittitian division and the Caribbean diaspora all around the globe as well. And we can and will greet you. Some we can say goodnight, because there's some of you in Asia, there's some of you in Africa, there are some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I am at liberty to say good night. I will say good afternoon, and I will say good morning, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And we do have first-timers each time. I'm surprised if you don't have first-timers, because you continue to share the link, and for that I am eternally grateful. For those who share the link, please don't stop doing so, as each time you do so, we do get first-timers. And for the first-timers, may I inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underlying free expression on all issues of national, regional, international interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try to raise as well the level of national, regional, and international consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their obligations, and of course, we can't forget their responsibilities. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on another occasion. And as your host, I always hasten to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. And I'm all times reminded of the words of a favorite hymn of mine, written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. And I love this excerpt, which goes something like this. We are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, especially the first timers, let me say to you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We don't try to make it more interesting, neither by omission or exaggeration. And Straight Talk is not about sensationalism or creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because we always try to lean on the facts, as it is my duty to present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, transparency, and integrity in St. Kitts and Nevis and wherever you are on this globe. Because this program joins us together with people across the Federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora all around the world. Some we know very well and have met, others we do not know, and many we will never meet physically and or otherwise. Some will agree with the positions of truth advanced on Straight Talk, and some will disagree. And that's anticipated because we are a different people and we entertain what I call diverse views. And that's okay. But what will sadden me, my Straight Talk family, is if we ever become disagreeable. So let's thank Almighty God nonetheless for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who share the link as you bring, like I said before, first timers. Please continue to do so. And for the first timers, we are heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 to 10 in the PM. And if you like it, tell the whole world. If you don't, come tell me. But let me remind you that Straight Talk as well is a participative program. By that I mean we entertain or we include your calls and your emails. If you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screen. 663 is the local number, 6672. And our 646 overseas line, 829 6672. There are some of you who scared of calling for obvious reasons, especially with the vindictive people we have in office at this present time. When they're in, only their people should eat, and others should not eat. But someday we will change that, We will have to change that someday. But some of you like the cloak of anonymity, so we give you access via our email platform, and that address is also on your screen. That's one word: straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. We also heard on live on Alexa, and if you have that access to Alexa, just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio, and we thank the operator owner of that platform for allowing us to access it at a nominal cost. And as we speak about costs, I am always minded of your donations. Those who continue to support our efforts, we say thank you. I must also reassure you that no matter your contribution, it helps us to continue this important service. And believe it or not, it's a public service. Others who may wish to donate can simply scan the code on your screens to access the payment form. It's a very simple process. And I thank you all for your support again and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. Many contact me. I don't have access to it. It's been monitored and managed by another entity. But please continue to support the program. I must say a special welcome as well to my junior brigade. I've got some new ones. Joanne, you got permission from your mom, as well as, I forgot that name, forgive me, but we have young Dwayne in the house. Tristan, Shama, Kevin, young Rue, Costa. I hope your granny's all right. I haven't heard from her for some time over there in South Carolina. Trust she's doing well. I know she had some complications. I trust you are okay. And Jamal in Anguilla, Travis, Travon, Soraya, and my grandson Neema. If I don't call that name, I will be in trouble. So you have to understand. I was a special lady in St. Louis as well. And greetings to the Queen over there in Texas. We normally start with our platform, your link. Spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Alexa. And my Straight Talk family, I have one observation, just one observation, because I'm going to spend some time on our thesis tonight. It's a very important one. And my observation relates to the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Airport. And I believe they will soon have to take a decision with regards to its closure whenever the rain is falling. As Marsha and Scasper CEO, Miss Moore, they both continue to be an embarrassment to the country. Yes, because every time rain falls, passengers in the terminal have to scamper, run outside to get shelter. Could you imagine that? This cannot be good or a good first and or last impression for our visitors. Just last week, a little rain came, just a little rain came, and the floors are flooded. We know this happened some weeks ago. We spoke about it, and some people got offended. But at the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Airport, this should not be what seemed to be a norm. Rain falls, and the roof is leaking. That we have to address, because it's fast becoming an embarrassment, a regular embarrassment, whenever the rain falls, my Straight Talk family. And we have to do something about that, I dare say. And that's my observation for tonight. I'll say not much more about that. But in terms of our infrastructure in St. Kitts, it's fallen to to the dogs, as we say, going to the dogs, as we say in colloquial language. The court room closed, schools, and it is so much infrastructure is not being maintained. But the title of my thesis, like I said tonight, my Straight Talk family, is Revise CISA. Revise CISA, which I have, as the acronym describe, Sale of Islands Swiftly Approved. In my last thesis, I addressed the CISA, as Drew called it, which he explained is the Sustainable Island State Agenda of St. Kitts and Nevis. I, however, went back and examined this agenda more closely and found that it was all about the sale of our lands. And not just the sale of our lands, but the sale of our lands to foreigners here on St. Kitts, and more importantly, across the Narrows on Nevis. So I was therefore forced to revise CISA for the acronym to mean Sale of Islands Swiftly Approved. And many of us may be aware that there is a world of private islands that are publicly listed that can be found in the Indian Ocean and Africa, the French Polynesia, the Pacific Ocean, South and Central America, Canada, the USA, and the Caribbean. Private islands for sale in the Caribbean are available in the Bahamas, quite a lot there, the BVI, Grenada, Tobago, and most recently, Terence Michael Drew, our Prime Minister, rushed to the Parliament and approved a bill he claimed is part of his Sustainable Island State Agenda. Given time and having done a more thorough review of this bill, it was uncovered, as I said, that CISA is in fact not only the sale of the islands swiftly approved, but it is a definite plan to line the pockets of a few politicians. Without much debate, there was a second and third reading before the bill was passed into law. And this is not how big change happens in a democracy. And perhaps our Prime Minister needs to take a page from the book of the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mayor Motley. Mayor Motley just went to the Parliament and passed, as I say, a big bill. And this is how she said, "It is done, my Straight Talk family."
A few nights ago, in the House of Assembly, the Minister of Home Affairs opened the second reading of two companion measures, the Immigration Bill 2025 and the Citizenship Bill 2025, and then asked that those bills go to the Parliamentary Governance Standing Committee for wider consultation before final passage. This is how big change should happen in a democracy, in the open, with the country invited to weigh in.
And that's how big change should happen in a democracy. And my Straight Talk family, even the mover of the bill had little to contribute except to saying that his senior minister provided an historical perspective. That's all he had to say in winding up the debate. He said this, my Straight Talk family, recall.
For St. Christopher 8, the mover of the bill.
Madam Speaker, with your leave, once again, I rise to wrap up the debate on this bill, shortly entitled Special Sustainability Zones Authorization Bill 2025, and to hear from the most senior in the Parliament and former Prime Minister, who would have been a fundamental architect, I would say, of the transition from sugar to where we are seeking to go, and to get a historical perspective on where we are heading. So this is in line with an overall trajectory to get our St. Kitts and Nevis on a path to a diversified economy, one that is sustainable, one where people are at the center, and it really deals with the development of all of our citizens. Better lives, so to speak, Madam Speaker, but in a sustainable way.
And my Straight Talk family, Denzel Douglas confessed that what was done 26 years ago in 1999 with the Whitegate development was an initial attempt to do what they were doing with the current bill. And Douglas had this to say as well.
The creation of the Whitegate development area was an initial attempt to do what we are doing here today. When Christopher Harbour was created out of the Southeast Peninsula, where not even 1 square foot of land was owned by the government, we had to put in place certain enabling laws and guidelines as to how that was going to be developed, so that the Southeast Peninsula will bring to St. Kitts and Nevis the type of support that was going to be needed as we transition the economy away from dependence on sugar to tourism and hospitality services.
So my Straight Talk family, we asked the question, so what is the current disposition with the Whitegate development? Because last year in July 2024, the corporation presented its comprehensive strategic plan to the federal cabinet, covering the 5-year period from 2024 to 2028, my Straight Talk family. They presented this plan to the cabinet. The document was handed over to the Prime Minister by Lincoln Maynard, the father of Congress Maynard, who is in fact chairman of the board of directors of the Whitegate Development Corporation. And he was accompanied by its CEO, Ellis Hazel. Now the strategic plan, I should say, we are told outlines what they labeled a transformative vision for the development and regeneration of the Whitegate area. And what is the Whitegate area, my Straight Talk family? According to its legislation, the Whitegate area comprises, as you can glean from your monitor, your screen, the area that stretches from the sea. That is to say, Cranston Estate to Bellevue Estate, covering part of the northwestern range mountains. Very vast area. That's where all this land is vested in the Whitegate Development Corporation. But those lands that Denzel Douglas spoke about at the Whitegate Development Corporation and Christopher Harbour are gone. What about La Valley, I asked before? Those lands are gone as well. The money also gone. And only one minister must know about those monies. Remember I told you about the former Minister of Tourism, who was responsible for the Frigate Bay Development Corporation and personally signed a memorandum of agreement. We do have a copy, my Straight Talk family. But there's no golf course at La Valley. And the minister has accounted, or has never accounted, I should say, never accounted for the $50 million or more that was spent at the golf course. Where's the golf course, we ask. We will continue to ask that question until we get a better answer than this one, my Straight Talk family. This is not the answer that we are going to accept when it comes to the Valley Golf Course.
Apparently, he wants me to explain to the nation why I, as a minister, signed an agreement. Well, it seems as though he wants me to explain why I signed. I'm told that he said he's not accusing anybody of bubble, but that he was just asking, where's the money? That's what I'm told, right? And I don't remember. But let me say what I have to say. I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Cannot say it did not happen. But let's not forget the land for debt swap. The St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla National Bank still holds a large portion of our land. I make the point because until Drew emulates his predecessor Timothy Harris and buys back those lands, the situation will not change, my Straight Talk family. But it is troubling for us in St. Kitts, as most of us are landless, and this current administration has already signaled, has already taken steps, a matter of fact, to reduce the size of land allocated to poor people and have asked citizens to build smaller. Could you imagine that, my Straight Talk family?
And we have to build smaller. 20-something years ago, 30-something years ago, CHA, NHC, they gave out land at probably 2,000, 3,000 square feet. And then we moved up to half acre and an acre because everybody wanted, you have a family, you want to live in comfort with space. Now we're recognizing that you have to, reduce the size of the lots. NHC standard 4,000 to 5,000 square feet, and people can build sizable homes on them. So that's part of the vision.
And that's a reality, man, my Straight Talk family. Part of the vision of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. But don't be fooled, as there is no land in St. Kitts to create no special zone. From the moment this real estate agent and wife of the primer started calling the Visions and encouraging them to sell their lands, Straight Talk knew that something sinister was afoot. From the moment the real estate agent and wife of the primer started calling people, someone called me, worried, scared. Is government going to take my land? Because she used care tactics by telling them that if they don't sell, then the NIA would acquire. Well, I believe that under our constitution, the government has the power to take private land when it is needed for a public project. For example, roads, schools, a hospital, and the list goes on. However, the owners must get just compensation from the government for their land. If, nevertheless, the land is taken and later used for private development, then that will raise ethical and or legal questions. We know that Douglas did this over at Christopher Harbour, acquired 854 acres of land, my Straight Talk family, and sold it on to Buddy Darby. We must not allow this to happen in Nevis. The question of the land in St. Kitts is still before the court. We know that. Well, I want to see if the Visions will accept becoming landless like we here in St. Kitts, as this is what Brantley is obviously planning. He has made certain that the Special Sustainability Zone Authorization Bill has vested authority in the Premier of Nevis. And he said that, my Straight Talk family. He said this.
Because the intention is that this legislation will apply to the island of Nevis. In fact, it provides at Section 10 the consent as required by the Constitution for this also to apply to Nevis. And I want to say to my constituents in Nevis and to the people of Nevis that there will be no declaration of any such zone on the island of Nevis without the involvement of the Nevis Island Administration. And there will be no development agreement on the island of Nevis without the involvement of the cabinet of the Nevis Island Administration and the sign-off of the NIA.
And my Straight Dog family, Brantley also got the Parliament to accept his amendment, accept this amendment as well in the bill we referred to earlier.
I have proposed an amendment to, I believe it is section 4. I suppose we will get to that when we get to committee stage. But I believe that these zones, Madam Speaker, and this is my view, that there ought not to be a proliferation of them within the Federation. That given our size, if we are going to designate an area as a zone, that we ought not to have multiples of these all across the country. And I feel as a result that one way to guard against that, we will be proposing from this side an amendment which says that no area intended to be subject of a development agreement shall, in the island of Nevis, comprise less than 500 acres, and in St. Kitts less than 750 acres.
And he got his way, my Straight Dog family, because that amendment is in fact part of the bill. So while our people cannot afford to buy 2 acres of land to farm or to build a home, the government has passed this bill. The Special Sustainability Zone Authorization Bill of 2025, with the intention to give rich foreign developers access to large swaths of our land, 750 acres in St. Kitts and 500 in Nevis as a minimum. And they call it foreign direct investment. But let us call it what it is. What it really is a land grab, my Straight Dog family. From Christopher Harbour to the Whitegate Development Project on St. Kitts. And now in Nevis, 6 square miles of prime land owned by private people, passed on from generation to generation, from Long Point to the bottom of Zion, all along the coast. This land is about to fall into the hands of one billionaire, we are told, my Straight Dog family. No doubt a friend of the Premier, Mark Brantley. Let us not forget that for over 300 years, our people lived under the chains of colonialism. Our people were enslaved, exploited, and stripped of their dignity. The wealth of European empires was built on the backs of our ancestors, in our cane fields, on our lands, and through our labor. Then independence came. Flags were changed. Anthems changed. But one question remains, my Straight Dog family. Are we truly free? If foreign hands still control our resources, and if our own leaders continue to act like agents of foreign interests, are we really and truly free? And tonight, Straight Talk submits that the 2 biggest agents of foreign interests in the Federation are Prime Minister Terence Michael Drew and Premier Mark Anthony Brantley. Just recently, Terence Drew took sides with Charles Buddy Darby, who got 2,400 acres of our land, 6 of our best beaches, but never paid for electricity, never paid for social security, and never paid the $130 million or more still owed to the St. Kitts, Nevis, and Willow National Bank. For 20 years, Charles Buddy Darby promised to put $17 billion into the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis. Instead, it is reliably rumored that he expatriated hundreds of millions of dollars from land sales to his bank account in South Carolina. And what did Prime Minister Jew say? Prime Minister Jew said this, believe it or not, shocking, my straight dog family. This was shocking.
And I will never be upset with Darby. If you're a businessman and you could get a good deal, take it. This, of course, was skewing towards Darby, and I'm not upset with Darby. Because he's a businessman. Business people would always discuss stuff in their best interest.
I want to play that for you one more time, my straight dog family.
And I will never be upset with Darby. If you're a businessman and you could get a good deal, take it. This, of course, was skewing towards Darby, and I'm not upset with Darby. Because he's a businessman. Business people would always discuss stuff in their best interest.
Could you imagine that coming from our Prime Minister? Imagine that, my people. Terence Michael Jew, not upset with Darby. If you get a good deal, take it, he says, because he's a businessman. Take all our land, take all our money. But the legislation passed in the parliament just last week claimed to be a tool to attract high-quality foreign direct investment, to diversify the economy, and generate long-term job opportunities while safeguarding the Federation's environment and sovereignty. My straight dog family, for over 40 years, we have sold our passports, which are instruments of sovereignty. And I'm happy. I am happy that the good lady from Barbados, May Motley, said this about the Barbados passport. My straight dog family.
Status. Let me be extremely blunt. Barbados will not sell citizenship. We will not sell citizenship. Our passport, respected among the strongest in our region and the world for that matter, carries the value of who we are. It is not a commodity to be traded. Once you become a Barbadian, there are no first-class or second-class citizens, only equal rights and equal responsibility.
But my straight talk family, for 40 years, we have traded our passport as a commodity. We have sold our passports, which are the instruments of sovereignty, tools that express and exercise the sovereign authority of our federation. But the CBI is dying, my straight dog family. The CBI is dying slowly, my straight dog family. Slowly, the CBI is under constant attack.
I have been a consistent voice asking for novel ideas and innovation to move us away from our heavy dependence on citizenship by investment. I believe that the signs are clear all around us that the citizenship by investment goose that has laid the golden eggs for us for the past 2 decades, that there are some serious headwinds, Madam Speaker, involving that particular sector. And I believe the signs have been there from comments being made by the US government, by governments in the EU, by actions taken by the UK, and by the constant stream of negativity that has accompanied a lot of the commentary on citizenship by investment, that it behooves us as a country, government and opposition, to come up with new ways to take our economy forward and to ensure that we have sustainable development in our country.
Yes, the CBI is dying slowly, so they found a new scam. What is the new scam? The new scam is led by Terence Michael Jew and Mark Anthony Brantley, who have joined in one purpose, that is to sell our land, yes, our land, which is absolutely a core part of our sovereignty. Yes, land is a fundamental part of sovereignty. Because without land, our federation will have no defined territory over which to exercise supreme authority. Here in the Caribbean, and especially in St. Kitts and Nevis, the core of our problem is not our geography or our economy. The core problem is the quality of leadership we elect. Too many of our leaders chase short-term deals over long-term vision. Our leaders all align themselves with foreign billionaires while ignoring the potential of their own people. They ignore you and I. Our leaders are all prepared to serve party politics instead of the best public interests. Meanwhile, local farmers struggle to lease 2 acres of land. Young people can't afford land, and families go hungry while arable land lies fenced off behind private property signs. Yes, arable land lies fenced behind private property signs. Is this what independence looks like? My brothers and sisters of St. Kitts and Nevis, I say hell no. And tonight, I rise. I rise with fire in my soul and duty in my heart. I come before you, not just as a voice of reason, not just as a defender of our patrimony, but as a protector of the people of this twin island federation. Because what has just taken place on the cloak of sustainability is nothing short of betrayal. The so-called Special Sustainability Zone Authorization Bill, rushed through the Parliament with unholy speed, was passed without one single consultation with the people. Not one. This is a democracy, not a dictatorship. How can we pass a bill of that magnitude without public consultation? And yet, your voice, your concerns, your very stake in this land were ignored. Your very stake in this land were erased and discarded. They dressed it up in fancy language, called it part of the Sustainable Island State agenda. But let's not be fooled, my Straight Dog family. The real CISA stands for something else. Sale of Islands Swiftly Approved. That's right. What we are witnessing is not development. What we are witnessing is dispossession. The dispossession of our lands. The federal government and the Nevis Island administration have launched the most shameless land grab in the history of our federation. Selling off our lands in minimum tracts of 500 acres in Nevis and 750 acres in St. Kitts. In St. Kitts, there aren't much land, as I said to you. Christopher Harbour got 2,400 acres. Whitegate Development got all those lands from Cranston, go all the way back to Bellevue. Vested in the Whitegate Development Corporation. Their lands still being held by the National Bank, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, I said to you before, under the land for debt swap. Unless government pays for those lands, they will stay with the bank and the bank will sell it to private investors. But who amongst us, my Straight Dog family, you're selling off our lands in minimum tracts of 500 acres in Nevis, and I speak specifically to Nevis because St. Kitts ain't got no lands. Nevis don't have lands either. They are eyeing all those lands from Long Point in Nevis all the way down to Zion. on the coast, lands belonging to private people, passed on for generations. They are eyeing those lands to sell them to one billionaire. But who amongst us can afford 500 acres of land in Nevis as a minimum? Not the farmer, not the young entrepreneur, not the struggling division family. This is not a plan for the people. This is a scheme for billionaires. And let me say loud and clear, the CBI is dying. It's being diluted, cheapened, sold off to the highest bidder. Under the guise of sustainability, this administration of Terence Michael Drew and the Nevis Island administration under Mark Anthony Brantley, they have introduced a new scam, a new form of corruption. This is not leadership, my people. It is downright looting. Now let's talk about Nevis. We know that the Nevis Island administration owns no land. So how will they create these zones? I repeat that. We know that the Nevis Island administration, the NIA, owns no land. So how will they create these zones? The only way, I submit, is through eminent domain, seizing land from private citizens. That's right, your land passed down by your forefathers, land you've worked, built on, and cherished. And for what? So a government can sell it to another private investor? That is not development, it is theft. It is theft, Mark Brantley, for government to take private land and sell it to another private investor. Highway robbery, my straight dog family. We have a government of thieves. This is not just immoral. This is illegitimate, illegal, and it must be resisted with every legal, political, and moral tool we have. And I'm saying this to those folks in Nevis. Resist it with every legal, political, and moral tool you have. Ask yourself, what kind of government steals from its own people to benefit outsiders? Ask yourselves, what kind of government steals from its own people to benefit outsiders? What kind of leadership enriches their billionaire friends while shutting out their own citizens? Only in Nevis, only in St. Christopher. We say to the Prime Minister, you may have passed your bill, but you have not passed the will of the people. We will not be silenced. We will not be displaced. We will not allow our homeland to be auctioned off to the elite while our children are left with nothing but memories. This is our land. This is our home. This is our inheritance, my straight dog family. And we say with one voice, hands off our land. Hands off Nevis. Hands off the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, my straight dog family. To the youth, this is your fight as well. To the farmers, your soil must be protected. To the business owners, your right to invest must be defended. To the families, your land must not be stolen in broad daylight. That is what's being done over there in Nevis and in St. Kitts. Our land is being stolen in broad daylight. Let them know. Let Mark Brantley know that this fight has just begun. Nevisians, wake up, stand up for your right. And we will not be stopped until justice is restored and the soul of the nation is reserved. My straight dog family, we have to stand up to this high-day robbery of our lands. Under this guise of sustainable island development, do not be fooled. Especially, I'm calling on the youths, especially in Nevis. I'm always proud of the visions who are landowners. In St. Kitts, we are landless. The majority of the land that were acquired by the government back in 1975 was never distributed. So I strongly believe that the government back then of R.L. Bradshaw did not want the people to get a sense of independence. In Nevis, you have a sense of independence. Your forefathers, your foreparents, your grandparents left you, willed you land, lots of land. So understand your independence. Do not cave in. Do not give up, my straight dog family. Do not at all. And we say to the Prime Minister, what you're doing, and in particular for Nevis. We know the Nevis Island Administration, as I said before, owns no land. So how will Mark Brantley and his cabinet create these zones? That 6 square mile zone they have earmarked from Long Point down to Zion. How will they create these zones when they own no land? It surely means their way is through eminent domain, seizing land from private citizens. Be prepared, divisions, to stand up. Your land was passed down by your forefathers. Many of you have walked the land, built and cherished the land. Many of you are overseas, hoping to come back home to build on your lands. But my straight up family, what is happening, what is about to happen is not just immoral. It is illegitimate. It is illegal. And it must be resisted by the people of Nevis in particular. My straight dog family, ask yourself, what kind of government steals from its own people to benefit outsiders? What kind of leadership enriches their billionaire friends while shutting out their citizens? And we say to the Prime Minister one more time, you may have passed your bill, but you have not passed the will of the people. The people must not be silenced. The people must not accept displacement. The people must not allow our homeland to be auctioned off to the elite, while our children are left with nothing but memories. This is our land. This is our home. This is our inheritance. Let us say with one voice, hands off the lands. Hands off Nevis, Mark Brantley. Hands off the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And my straight dog family, to the youth, get involved, because this is your fight too. To the farmers, your soil must be protected. To the business owners, your right to invest must be defended. To the families, your land must not be stolen in broad daylight. Let them know this fight has just begun. And do not stop until justice is ensured and the soul of our nation is saved. Let's all say hell no to the revised CISA, Sale of Islands Swiftly Approved. And that's my story tonight, my straight dog family. And I am not going to change it. I will entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, and I'll do so momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. I anticipate that you will be fair to all concerned. And the things and that you say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. I'll open the lines, my Straight Talk family, and entertain your calls and your emails. As I said earlier, the numbers are on your monitors. The numbers are on your screens, my Straight Talk family. For those who are calling locally, the number is 663-6672. You can access the local line as well, obviously from overseas, but you'll need the area code 869. But there's an overseas line as well, 646-829-6672. There are those who like what I call the cloak of anonymity. So we give you access via our email platform. And that address is Straight Talk Patches. That's one word. Straight Talk Patches at gmail.com. Straight Talk Patches at gmail.com. It's now 3 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour, and we go to the lines and say good night to our first caller. Caller, you're live.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, that's so.
These may be times.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When we are powerless. To prevent injustice.
Yep.
But there must never be a time when we fail to protect.
Okay.
I repeat, there may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protect. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, as usual, for your quotation. Always very thought-provoking and relevant as well. There may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protect. Very interesting, my Straight Talk family. And that's coming from our first caller from across the Narrows there in Nevis. And I am very concerned about Nevis in particular tonight. As I've told you before, that I'm a division born in St. Kitts. And what I see on the horizon for my people in Nevis, I am troubled. Remember, Brantley said this, my Straight Talk family.
I have proposed an amendment to, I believe it is section 4. I suppose we will get to that when we get to committee stage. But I believe that these zones, Madam Speaker, and this is my view, that there ought not to be a proliferation of them within the Federation. That given our size, if we are going to designate an area as a zone, that we ought not to have multiples of these all across the country. And I feel as a result that one way to guard against that, we will be proposing from this side an amendment which says that no area intended to be subject of a development agreement shall, in the island of Nevis, comprise less than 500 acres, and in St. Kitts less than 750 acres.
Interesting perspective. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding the caller. You're live. Hello, caller. You're live.
Mr. Straight Talk.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, Mr. Straight Talk. How are you, my brother from another mother?
I am peaceful. I recognize the voice.
Yes, man. So how are you tonight, my brother? How are you doing?
Somewhat troubled with what's happening in our country.
I can hear you. I can hear your voice. I just looked at you at the computer and I say, why is Straight Talk looking like he want to go to sleep? But, I looked at you now and I recognize that is what is going down, and it's sad.
It's sad, yes. Imagine
it's sad, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You're out there preaching, and it's we to listen.
Yes.
Understand? And we should take warning, but you see, that's where the trouble begins. That we wait until it's gone and then says that it happened and then say we should have. So you are sounding the alarm. Let us stand with you and do what we have to do, because it's gonna hit us very hard.
Oh, yes.
It's gonna hit us very hard, and when just like the Crystal Harbor, that's what's gonna happen. So we have to put our foot down and stand our ground. Anyway, let me just say good night to my wonderful people tonight. Good night to my brother there, Alvin, and my son there, Bellevue, George Reed, and my wonderful niece there in the Abigail, and my brother there, Ellis. My sister Joan, take care, man. We're coming. We're going to see you soon and very soon. So, and my brother Ellis, my lovely niece there in St. Louis, how are you this night, man? And the Texas Queen, good night to everyone of you. God bless you. So, Mr. Straight Talk, I don't know, understand where we are headed, but with you keep sounding the alarm. People are listening, and I believe that they're going to do what's right. They're not going to fall for it, but it's them. Understand? I can only say, well, I'm not there. You guys are there. You guys have to pick up the pieces and do what you guys have to do. Don't let what happened with Crystal Harbor happen again. Do something about what is going on and stop what is going on, because it's going to hurt. Not just you alone, Straight Talk, but all of us. Mr. Straight Talk, I think I said enough for that. My brother is going to call you and give you a message. When he calls you, let me hear. He going to tell me what he says, okay?
Okay, my brother.
Mr. Straight Talk, I'm going to leave it there. Abracadabra, detour. See you when I see you. See you soon.
See you, my brother. See you soon as well. Yes. As you said, I can only sound the warning. And I asked the question. So a government can sell your land and sell it to another. A government can take your land and sell it to another private investor. That is not development. That is thieving. That's theft. Robbery, my Straight Dog family. And the people in Nevis in particular must stand up. And I say Nevis because the lands in St. Kitts are government owned. NIA don't have no lands. So where this 500 acres gonna come from to establish a special zone? It's the people land. Mark Brantley wants to take away the people land. It's as simple as that. He wants to steal the people land. And this is not just immoral. It is illegitimate. It is illegal. And it must be resisted. Resisted with every legal, political, and moral tool you have over there in Nevis. As the quotation says, there may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must be a time when we fail, must never be a time when we fail to protect it, I think it says. Caller, I thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patches, good evening, man. How you doing tonight, man?
I am peaceful. I'm troubled, my straight dog family, but I'm peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Myself is pretty good. I'm peaceful as well. And good night to you, the listeners, home and abroad. Yeah, Patches, I'm just going to talk straight to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis tonight. The citizens of the Twin Island state, most beautiful Twin Island states in the Caribbean. This bill, what these jokers has gone into Parliament and passed, it is given the green light, like you said, for these rich folks to come on in and take over our lands. So I've coined the term. Now we're seeing the battle for the lands. This is the new terminology right now in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, coined by myself. The battle for the lands. You know, Patches, I'm man is of a certain age. I grew up in a certain time period in Nevis. And you see this politics between these two islands? No one can fool me about it. I grew up in this political atmosphere in the village of Cotton Gun over there. I'm a product of my environment. What I'm seeing in the Federation right now is very damn near. And Patches, I came out here several times and I told you, there is no opposition across the Narrows. If you're not opposing this bill, you're supporting it. Straight and simple. And I'm going to call up their man tonight. Where is their man? Where is Sean Richards? Where is Timothy Harris? Where is Janice Daniel Hodge? Where is Shani Brooks? Where is Azad and Nubian? Patches, man, we should be nowhere else but in the street. Even yesterday morning, Sunday morning, when you dressed up going to church, you should not be going to church yesterday. We should have church goers in Bastille and Charlestown yesterday morning. Them church pews should be empty yesterday. We should be nowhere else but in the street, morning, noon, and night over this crazy ASS bill. Man, the politicians, they don't have no integrity. They're selling out the place, and they're not representing the people that put them there. And I'm is a Nevis man, and I'm going to talk straight to Nevis now. Patches, this issue is not just a Nevis issue, you know. I'm telling you, man, this time we should see some of them representatives from St. Kitts. We should see them over in Nevis right now. If they so care about Nevis, we already saw what's going on in the peninsula. Man, if these guys get their hands on them lands in the south side of Nevis, I'm kissing Nevis goodbye. The people of Nevis can say, forget it. The average man in Nevis cannot go to work, or St. Kitts for that matter, can't go to work and buy a plot of land for their family. Now they want to give out the land in big parcels, 500 acres and 750. Nevis and St. Kitts, respectfully. Man, Patches, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are sleeping, bro. You guys don't have no courage down there underground. And Patches, as you're talking about what you're talking tonight, your thesis and your observations, that's why I come back to that Brian clause, because these politicians, when they put their hand on the Bible and they swear and take their oath, they are pledging to foreign entity, King Charles and his heirs. But the Brian clause is in your heart. It's really in your heart. It speaks to your character, your moral character. These guys' behavior is out of order. I don't care what nobody say. And I may probably start from Douglas, come right down. I'm not going to say too much about Kennedy Simmons, but all them man got skeletons in their closets. They're not gods. The man treating Douglas and them like the man is gods. No, we are just now finding out what the man has done to St. Kitts and Nevis. The man is treason. They all commit treason to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The way how they treat them two islands, man. Man, we don't even know how much money these men got in their bank accounts. They're scared to really declare their assets and stuff like that. The integrity in public life bill, all the stuff, it's not working. It's not working. Man, Patches, you could kiss and Nevis goodbye now. Trust me on that. If nobody go to the streets, they stay doing what they do. They're not going to stop doing these things to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis unless all the people that are going to St. Kitts and Nevis that got them talk shows and talking so much, Big Lice, Alexander, DJ Marisha, E.K. Flanders, all them, man. You Patches, Curtis Cook, the man got to come up from underneath that party politics. And I'm going to talk to the loyalists of Labour. They're going to have to be the one to come down on their own leader and come down on their own party representatives. Because all of them, man, if their man don't stand up against the party who's in control right now, parties, they're going to do what all manner of things to the Federation and get away with it. The people of St. Kitts and Nevis, this is it. This one here is like a ripe mango over there in Nevis right now. Like one of Julie Folly mango right now in the summertime that's over there knocking dogs. It is ripe right now for all the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to hit the streets. Get off of that politics line. None of this stuff here is about party. Man, we're talking about our lands that we were so lucky to get control of coming out of slavery. Patches, when you see, man, when that big massive protest going on in St. Kitts and Nevis, you call me, man. Man, we need some balls to stand up to these politicians, bro. Man, I wish I wasn't caught up with this stuff. Man, I would be the one down there to lead people because all them lawyers, they're corrupted. None of them would stand up for the people against the government and no court hearings to protect people's rights like this, man. Man, wait until you Patches. Last point before I get off. You see that geothermal going on in Nevis? The government of St. Kitts and Nevis cannot fund that at all. The money is too big. Anybody who ever bring that money in to fund that geothermal, and if it come to fruition, they're going to own St. Kitts and Nevis. And wait until they might link that cryptocurrency to that geothermal over there. Man, Mark Brantley is selling out Nevis. He's not doing his premier work or the leader of the opposition. The man link up with you to do this to the people just last week, Monday. Why didn't they do this long time? Man, their man is not going to stop until they get control of them lands in the south side of Nevis. Nevis people, if you all don't stand up, man, you all could talk from now till Judgment Day. Their man going to get done what they want to get done. They're going to take over them lands. And my objective right now is to tell the people on the top of the airport, boycott the imminent domain ship. Do not move. Don't accept 1 penny from that premier. But you gave him that money to relocate those people at the top of the airport. Nevis people has to start there. Nevis people has to start there at the top of the airport. Boycott that extension of that runway. Collectively. Do not move off of them lands that you all own over there in Castle, man, for years. Okay. That your forefathers and foreparents fought for.
Okay.
Told for. Man, Patches, thanks, man. And thanks for letting me talk, man, extensively like this. But you all got to stand up now, man. If you all don't stand up now, man, I have to retire somewhere else except St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay, my brother. I allowed you to give vent.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Patches, man. I really appreciate that.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
I understand, I love you too. We have to give vent to our feelings, and I allowed you to do just that. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Love and greetings.
Greetings, my brother. Ras, how art thou?
Thankful for the love of the divine creator. Relax in the meditation. So I listen to the program and I said blessed night to your listeners on YouTube and as they call it Facebook and Facebook. But I just like to state and I state it in a holy forum and people take it for joke. And this is where we're seeing it happening now. And I remember you in his own capacity as a member of that administration under the former Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, when I had a town hall meeting down in the Matney Community Center. And I raised, where will you all do when our people are faced with centralization of power? And these are the messages that is relating to what we're seeing happening at this time. So you see, 3 million and a PhD and an MBA and them joking, nasty, stupid academia that I pursue to dialogue and bring against the humanity of our people. That's how you see the people are in these kind of message to this day. And unto this day, none are a leader, not even the mere Mackley them, ready for what is taking around our people. So they could talk all the good talk, but the action is what we need to see. Unless you all stop these old thieving investors from coming in our shores and doing what they are doing with all your political garbage that are pursuing on and creating to make it feel like you are so careful for them right and justice for the people them. That's why you see people are facing these kind of methods of today. I'm glad that I can read, but no, I could understand the criminal system that I are holding up. Because it's time now we break down that whole racist system. Why can we stand to this old garbage to this day? Saying, oh, we need a change. What kind of change when we still see the same mechanism in our face? We need to change the whole climate of what is dividing our people. And what do you think is dividing? We are landless, as you stated in your opening statement. We're landless. And to this day, we still landless. Even the acquisition that was stated in 19. That's what they said in a communique where I was on in a Zoom meeting yesterday. That things are new people and it are landless. We are not in our own rights.
Okay.
We change the climate magnitude. Yep. I know you want to answer the question, so you people them if you see.
No. I didn't. You asked me a question.
Yeah.
What question?
When I put to you all, I put to you all on your higher dialogue down in Magnet Community Center. What are you going to do when it comes to centralization of power? And this is the method that is introducing by politicians against the own people. These are the methods because the bankers and all those investors are in the same boat to captivate the people, right? And the people that like how they live amongst one another.
Resist it with all means necessary.
I didn't hear you just say.
I said we must resist it with all means necessary.
Resist it. This time now we stand within making sure these things don't break down on the next generation. Because a lot of things can be resisted, but a lot of things can still come in to be manipulated by what we say we're resisting. Okay. Remember Malcolm X tell us that, Malcolm X tell us that. We have to be cautious how we are talking about resist.
Okay.
It's better time now we say no more garbage coming down here.
With all
we don't want no more stupid around here.
Okay, my
yeah, by any means necessary.
Yes.
So you educate the people about the word I just bring to you, centralization of power, because you got your PhD and them thing there. Me not got none, so educate them. You educate them since I started so brilliant to change the price of you have a blessed night, my brother.
Have a blessed night.
One love.
Ras, I always to the point and takes me back to the quotation. There may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protect. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're alive. Hello, caller.
Good night, Brother Patches.
Good night. Good night, sir.
Good night to all the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
This is your humble advocate, Winston. Welcome. Don't be ironic for my utterance. Hell no! Hell no to Mark Brantley and his bullshit in Nevis. Hell no to Dr. Joe and his bullshit in St. Kitts. First of all, that is my rule of thumb. I had a review of the wealth that our Treasury sustained right now at the present. I did it this morning. The Treasury is said to have $1 billion right now. And if we divide that $1 billion to 50,000 the population, it will work out to be 18,000 something per capita. Per capita. The battle is start by you. The condemnation, Paul Jones. The condemnation, Winston, welcome. Where is Timothy Harris? Where is Sean Richards? Where is Azar Gums? Where is Shani Gray? And the other lady in Nevis, sometimes I forget her name, Janice. We should bind together because this is the battle of the lands. Look what happened that you uttered. Are the people in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis are listening? Ostrich with their damn head stick in the sand. Get your heads out the sand. I am making an offer to the people because by all means necessary to defeat and send these kleptocrats to exile. Some other country, whether they want to go to Nigeria, they're free to go there. Whether they want to go to Cuba, I'm pretty sure Castro inheritance would welcome them because we don't need them. I am saying, and I'm making an offer to the people of St. Kitts. Right now it's 1 billion, and I did my maths, and I stand for correction. If I give every national native of the Federation of St. Kitts $3,000 just to start off, thank you for being a native, or a dividend, or a stimulus, it will be 175,000 moving forward for 12 months for the fortunate, the needy. $1,000 for pop moving forward, like I said, for the 12 months. That's an additional 50,000. Total 175,000 to 50,000. And I know 50,000, the full 50,000 population would not be qualified. But if majority qualify, fine. The stimulus, the dividend, whatever you want to call it, every native will get that.
Okay.
I'm not leaving the healthcare and the facilities. After paying out that from the treasury, the people deserve that. They deserve that. They're entitled to that for 41 years. Regardless to what left in the treasury, but we will leave at least 700,000.
Okay.
Because it is 1 billion in there. Okay? People, gravitate to what I'm offering to you, and let's get rid of these people. You all need the money. You all need the money. Take it. It is free. It is your gift. It is your dividend. For 41 years. It's still not enough. And I'm gonna find the money. The people who has it, the people who steal it, they are still in St. Kitts. I'm going to shake everyone's pocket. I'm going to seize their passport.
Okay.
They ain't going nowhere. I'm going to bring up charges for embezzlement, treason, because it is happening and it is facts, and you already uttered that. I'm going to stop right there, but I want to come in again. I yield to other people.
Thank
and
you.
I mean what I said, and I said what I meant.
Thank you very much.
They ain't going nowhere. They're going to be grounded. So let them do what they want to do. David St. Kitts, Hill St. Kitts, Winston Welcome is coming after all of your asses.
Okay.
And I'm just afraid to scare them. None of you. Thank you for allowing me.
Thank you very much. We go right back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. It's 9:23. Hello. How is the major? How is the major tonight? How is the major? You what?
It's something how for you. Remember, I told you about happiness.
Yes.
And happiness is hard to shadow the oppression and tyranny. It's hard to shadow the oppression and tyranny. And because of that, government design and all government is designed to run things good. Eh?
Yep.
What you say? All government is good. It is been known to run, and it's been known that it should run smoothly. I don't understand because what you understand, what and with collective bargaining, collecting, because with this land business, I don't. Who the bargaining with? Who the? You just get up and make a way for you.
Well, there's no consultation with the people. You know, you have to consult with the people. You know.
Collective bargaining process. That's how I know it. That's how I know it. When they used to negotiate, they bargain collectively and some understanding. And I was scared, man. I was scared. But when I listening to you, because I'm saying this is and And once alone, it must be a fruit, isn't it? It must be a fruit. When it is applied, and wisdom is relevant about that, isn't it?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah. So we can't be a fool. I mean, bargain, that is what, let us bargain and collect the rate. But whoever we want to bargain with. Bargain and let us know how things go. Because I listen to this, understand what he's saying. Everybody cares to do in their life. Yeah?
And
what do you think? What do you think?
Well, it must. Well, we ought to protect the best public interests.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's what we should do.
Yes, and it can't be you're going to Parliament and saying you pass this bill. That can't be enough, right? That can't be enough. You have to come to the people. You have to come to the people. Let the people own it, right? Right, you know, you mentioned a collective bargaining. Well, you're a union man, and that's a process where the union represents its employees, right? With an employer, it's somewhat different, but we are the government. We are the governed, and they can't govern unless the governed elect them. You know, so it's slightly different, though, right? But I understand your approach, but I think that the people ought to own the decisions. Okay, Major, I think we've. Are you there, Major? Seem to have a. Okay, we seem to have lost the Major, but. Yes, I think we understand what you're saying. But my Straight Dog family, it's 27 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. I haven't forgotten the emails, and this one reads, Mr. Marisha, I thank God for you. You have demonstrated yourself as a man of truth, a man who is not afraid to call a spade a spade. You have the courage to stand up to the highest administrator in the land and tell them when they are wrong. Not many of us can do that. I am happy that you have exposed the deceitfulness and hypocrisy of Dwyer with regard to his weekly commentaries. Marisha, as you rightly said, Dwyer has know plenty more than what he is telling us, and you have evidence to support what you say. He might be able to mislead some of us, but certainly not you. Dwyer has two tongues. He has said many times people must be able to speak out against wrongdoings, but he silently and refused to condemn the Prime Minister for his arbitrarily relinquishing your post at JNF because you spoke the truth. He will not condemn the Prime Minister for refusing to have a meeting in Nevis after 3 years in office to hear their concerns. Claiming to be the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Keep up the good works. Marisha reads that email as I go straight back to the lines and thank this caller for holding caller you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller? Yes. So, is this the Bible man?
Yes.
You're live. The world.
I am not anything but company. The straight talk. I am going to use the word what's going to happen for today. Now that is I wanted to read it too. Deuteronomy chapter 30. Thing is and I want every whole world here. Give away whatever. Now, if I be saying to you, who are you? Dead. Telling you. Yeah. And I call it, but choose life. Now, Mr. Kaiser, in June, I read the whole word. God did not. God is telling us this word. I said it. Blessing us. God knows how to do it. And I got God could say so. God not change with us. You know, it big is that Jesus across the Calvary and falling away. And when we sin, we have an advocate. And that's the reason why, Mr. Patch, that people know that a wickedness. That is, at all, nobody at all supposed to violate nobody. Nobody is supposed to stop people from peace. Nobody take what God give them. One of these days, Mr. Pax, people can find out. So when God put down his hand on them, that is, you see them poor people a battle, when they cry a battle, it tears them, and when the people, and the last thing I am going to tell you, Psalm 41. Blessed is the man see the poor in trouble. The Lord shall deliver you. That is, after the poor people, God will look after you. That is, read 112 Psalms, 111 and 110, and hear what God tell you.
Okay, my brother, thanks a lot.
You understand?
Yes, I got you loud and clear. Thank you for your contribution tonight. Yes, as usual. Mr. Bibleman, we always welcome your, what I call your spiritual biblical interventions. Good night, Mr. Liburd. Reads this email. Thank you for keeping us informed with all that's going on in the Federation. Please know we truly love and appreciate what you're doing. We all look forward to hearing from you on a weekly basis. There is none like you because you present the facts. Be safe and blessed. Thanks for that commendation. Yes, we always ensure you that this email reads, Patches, with all due respect, can you inform your listeners it's no longer a bill, it's an act? Half a dozen, one of the same thing. Hi, Patches. Can you ask that caller who said he's from Nevis if you work for Smith Barney or Lehman Brothers at 388 Greenwich Street, thanks with this email. Patches, that's you. I don't quite understand this message here. This message is not complete. For people all around the world, land matters are extremely volatile issues. Read this email. It will be a great shame if divisions especially allow these educated dunces to take land from the future generations. Our children, our grandchildren. Patches, let's run a few scenarios for Nevis. Not all of the land will be taken from non-supporters. Many supporters may have interest in that part of the country and stand to benefit if this crazy deal continues. So again, a few will benefit at the detriment of the greater population. Let SK Southeast be an example. These lazy, educated dummies, instead of taking difficult decisions that pay off for the people in the long run, they get into these silly deals with racist foreign investors who don't give one crap about the locals. Years since independence and our agriculture sector got no attention. No innovation in the country, nothing. We are setting the same thing that everybody else in the Caribbean is selling, the same thing that everybody else in the Caribbean is selling. Sand, sea and sun. Mr. Liburd, if we had very rich and wealthy people here in St. Kitts, Nevis, with the potential to go to America or England or Europe or Russia or China to invest, you think they would let any of us even set foot in their country? And if we manage to get in, I am certain it will be in a way that benefits a national or nationals of that country. We politicians are forming the fool around here, dunce and lazy. Read this email. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller?
How are you? How are you?
Oh, I am peaceful. Yourself?
You're breaking up. I'm not getting it. Hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Are you? Yes.
Whenever conflict rises between material and spiritual values, the conscience plays an important role. And anyone who suffers from a guilty conscience is never free from this problem until he makes peace with his conscience. Very important topic. Anything to do with land is very important. Remember, it's just a couple weeks back, we had the invitation at the celebration of Marcus Garvey's son. Mm-hmm. And we knowing what Marcus Garvey's philosophy was over the years, empowerment of people with land. And if mind and we focus really on Marcus Garvey teachings, I'd like today was when it comes on policy, people and land. That government is continuous. And we had a deal already of harbor. It's the right thing to do. If they're going into any agreement with land, is to review with the Federation, federal government, and Christopher Harbour. An issue in a separation. Agree is not separation. Not to mistakes again for people, because we are saying we want focus on foreign investors. Foreign investors should come with their money. no one coming in this future age and we're developing rely on the bank, National Bank, who must rely on National Bank. And in returns, we love them. Making sure. So it's something persons who putting up themselves office. I don't think the governing are go because you always have to remember of your people. And if you always got investors should come and because even the next day, of Christopher, the country still is clear revelation is all about. So focus on Marcus Garvey teachings and complying ourselves to do with policies when it comes up. But as you continue to stay strong, the topics enable us to be mature and put reason forward. And some people may call up, but it's the people is the ones who are talking to national issues. Counted. Continue to be strong, Mr.
Thank you very much, my brother. Always welcome your interventions. And it's now 18 before the 10 o'clock hour. And for those who may have joined me late, our thesis tonight we entitled Revise CISA, Sale of Plans Swiftly Approved. And I read an email, very short email earlier, and I dismissed it, but I do apologize for that, because I thought about what she wrote in terms of the bill versus an act, and I think, yes, the Special Sustainability Zone Authorization Bill of 2025 was the proposed legislation, and having been passed, and once it's gazetted, it will become the Special Sustainability Zone Authorization Act of 2025. I believe, caller, you're right, and I want to associate with that comment. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
The major.
Yes, Major. How about thou?
The major. Can you come make a cut out?
Yes, you dropped out earlier. Yes. Yes.
I've heard.
Yes, go ahead, Major. You're live.
You had cut out at me?
You dropped out, actually. Your phone dropped out.
But I didn't get it. What you had to say. You repeat it to me again.
What we were talking about, Major. We were talking about you were talking about collective bargaining, and I prefer to use the word consultation, because while the collective bargaining, as a union rep yourself, as a shop steward, am I correct? You would know very well that the collective bargaining puts you into a process where you bargain on behalf of your unionized employees, right? Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Whereas in terms of the bill and the land and so, we ought to have consultation with the people, town hall meetings and things like that, and get the sense of the people who are governed.
Yeah.
Okay?
I agree with that.
Okay.
As I said, and as I said to you, and learning their truth. But I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
It's hurting. It's hurting. It's hurting.
Okay.
Hurting. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
We have to make the changes there. We have to stand up. The people have to stand up and let them know what time of day it is. We just have to stand up and stop accepting anything. Right?
We can't lay them up. We can't lay them up there.
Exactly. Yeah, you must be a good soldier. Die with your guns in your hand.
Why did I tell you? So then you find it as still. But you be careful with your movement. You got to put your move.
Okay, my brother.
Because you
Okay, Major. Thanks a lot for calling back.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay, Major. Thanks a lot. Yes, my Straight Talk family, it's 14 before the 10 o'clock hour. For tonight, we are looking at our thesis, which we titled Revise CISA, the acronym SISA. Having reviewed our last program, we have now revised that acronym to mean Sale of Islands was swiftly approved. It was not only approved, and as that emailer said, the Special Sustainability Zone Authorization Act of 2025 has the intention, it's intended to give rich foreign developers access to large swaths of land. The Premier on Nevis recommended this to the Parliament.
I have proposed an amendment to, I believe it is section 4. I suppose we will get to that when we get to committee stage. But I believe that these zones, Madam Speaker, and this is my view, that there ought not to be a proliferation of them within the Federation. That given our size, if we are going to designate an area as a zone, that we ought not to have multiples of these all across the country. And I feel as a result that one way to guard against that, we will be proposing from this side an amendment which says that no area intended to be subject of a development agreement shall, in the island of Nevis, comprise less than 500 acres, and in St. Kitts less than 750 acres.
And that amendment was approved. 500 acres of land in Nevis. Government don't own any land. They call it foreign direct investment. We call it what it really is, a land grab. When we reflect on Christopher Harbour and the Whitegate Development Project on St. Kitts, and now in Nevis, Premier Mark Brantley is about to grab 6 square miles of prime land, stretching from Long Point on the bottom or to the bottom of Zion, all along the coast. This will fall, if he had his way, into the hands of one billionaire. And let's just not forget, my Straight Talk family, that for over 300 years, our people lived under the chains of colonialism. Our people were enslaved, exploited, and stripped of their dignity. The wealth of European empires was built on the backs of our ancestors, in our cane fields, on our lands, and through our labor. Then independence came, flags changed, anthems changed, but one question remains: are we truly free? If foreign hands still control our resources, and if our leaders continue to act like agents of foreign interests, that's what our leaders are doing. They are acting as the agents of these foreign interests, my Street Dog family. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live.
Yes.
Hello, caller.
Yes, Brother Patches. I didn't finish what I said. I'm going to continue. When I look at Mark Brantley and his feel like he's bombastic and he's like Hefe or the Godfather, he is nothing. And Nevis people got to realize that is just one man and his bullshit ideology trying to use eminent domain or to use the word acquire lands. But if you have told the people and educate the people that this is not no federal interests. It's not a national interest for these lands to be acquired or to apply eminent domain. This is from legitimate landowners to private. And that sale is null and void. And it is treasonous. They have to stop, sell out the country. Mark Brantley, don't touch no more blasted land in Nevis. Dr. Terence Drew, don't touch no more land in St. Kitts. Because you all are making shysty, shady deals. And it's unacceptable. Because if should the people give a new government a chance, whether I am there or not, I encourage us to tear up those deals and start from fresh. The investment and the potential that any lands in our country bought or to be sold by any foreigners, we can do it too. So, do as much damage you all can done. Winston Welcome will be up all of your asses because I'm going to ground all of you.
Okay. What's your language?
I'm going to ground all. But his ass is not a bad word.
I said, what's your language? But just rap for me, please. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to rap once again to the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Be aware, be mindful of the situation you all are in. It is very bad. It is very, very, very bad. Tomorrow when you wake up, if you don't pay attention, your land is gone. And where are you going to go? What are you going to do? What is your future generation to come? How will they survive? They will wake up with nothing more than to go back to slavery again, because you will be controlled by the oligarch. Thank you for hearing me. I'm out.
Thank you very much for your contribution. We go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Hello, Patrice.
Yes, you're live.
Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, my dear.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Is this the dimple lady?
Yep.
Why you sound like that tonight?
Because I'm under pressure.
You're under pressure?
Yep.
Okay.
I would like to get your number off the ear, please. I would like to talk to you off here.
Okay.
That's what I will really like to do. To get your number off the ear, I would like to speak to you off here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I will sort that out after the program, okay?
Yes, after the program, yes.
Yes,
I want to get it after the program. I will set to get it.
Okay.
On the program now.
Okay, I'll get it sorted out.
Yes.
Okay.
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 All right.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's... You were saying something? Hello?
Yeah. Yes. I'm saying something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I said, what we going through, it's only just smoke, because we've been getting a little warning and what's that, and nobody was paying attention. to what was really going on. But now that we put down in the sun and we can get out, that's how we realize, what's really going on. If we don't look sharp, even the house and the land where your house be, they will come and take it and sell it to, because you see how things going right now. Nobody saying nothing, just walking, living as they like. And we got a man in here who paying taxpayers' money, going in here and working against us in the parliament too. There is no justice. I want for no man. We in big trouble in this country. And I do not know why they get given Ari to either eat or drink, but we fast. Very cooking, yes. Yes, that is.
Okay.
See you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I have to tell you after you finish.
Yes, I'll do that. And thanks a lot for your intervention. It's 4 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. And Straight Talk comes to you every Monday and Thursday from 8 to 10 in the PM. We normally provide you with a thesis, so we have a discussion of the issues that affect all of us as a people and citizens of our federation. And the question we ask tonight is, are we truly free? If foreign hands still control our resources, and if our own leaders continue to act like agents of foreign interests. And tonight, Straight Talk submitted that the two biggest agents of foreign interests in our federation are Prime Minister Terence Michael Drew and across the Narrows, Premier Mark Anthony Brantley. Just recently, Terence Michael Drew took sides with Charles Buddy Darby, who got 2,400 acres of our land, 5 or 6 of our best beaches. But he never paid for electricity. He never paid Social Security. He never paid over $130 million still owed to the St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla National Bank and the SIDF combined. For nigh 20 years, Charles Buddy Darby promised to put $17 billion into the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis. Instead, it is reliably rumored that he expatriated hundreds of millions of dollars from land sales to his bank in South Carolina. And what did Prime Minister Drew say about that? Do you believe that Drew said this, my Straight Talk family?
And I will never be upset with Darby. If you're a businessman and you could get a good deal, take it. This, of course, was skewing towards Darby, and I'm not upset with Darby. Because he's a businessman. Business people would always discuss stuff in their best interest.
Imagine that, my Straight Talk family. Imagine that, my people. Our Prime Minister said he was not upset with Darby. And he went on to say, if he got a good deal, take it. He's a businessman. But getting to the legislation passed in the Parliament, that's the focus of tonight. It is claimed to be a tool to attract high-quality foreign direct investment, to diversify the economy, and generate long-term job opportunities while safeguarding the Federation's environment and sovereignty. But my Straight Talk family, for 40 years and more, we have sold our passports. And I made mention of Prime Minister Mayor Motley, who made this comment just yesterday. I think it was in her national address.
It is. Let me be extremely blunt. Barbados will not sell citizenship. We will not sell citizenship. Our passport, respected among the strongest in our region and the world for that matter, carries the value of who we are. It is not a commodity to be traded. Once you become a Barbadian, there are no first-class or second-class citizens, only equal rights and equal responsibility.
But our people are speaking about safeguarding the Federation's environment and sovereignty. Yet for 42 years, we have traded in our passports as a commodity. Passports are instruments of sovereignty, tools that express the sovereign authority of our federation. But you know what, my Straight Talk family? The CBI is dying slowly. Dying slowly. Dying slowly. And here's what. We had to come up with something.
I've been a consistent voice asking for novel ideas and innovation to move us away from our heavy dependence on citizenship by investment. I believe that the signs are clear all around us that the citizenship by investment goose that has laid the golden eggs for us for the past 2 decades, that there are some serious headwinds, Madam Speaker, involving that particular sector. And I believe the signs have been there from comments being made by the US government, by governments in the EU, by actions taken by the UK, and by the constant stream of negativity that has accompanied a lot of the commentary on citizenship by investment, that it behooves us as a country, government and opposition, to come up with new ways to take our economy forward and to ensure that we have sustainable development in our country.
I'll get back to that after this email. Good night, Mr. Liburd. I feel the passion in the people tonight regarding the topic. My issue is with Mr. Welcome. How can he say he wants to be elected to run the country when he has yet to address the country as a federation of St. Kitts and Nevis? Number one, he said, I forgot the name of the lady over in Nevis. And then he continues with St. Kitts. Only Mr. Welcome needs to acknowledge the people he's asking to let him lead. Now that gentleman that calls and ends by saying, Mr. Liburd, you continue to stay strong. He needs to throw his hat in the ring with this email. But as we wind down tonight's program in my Straight Talk family, the CBI is dying slowly. So, Prime Minister Terence Michael Drew and Premier Mark Anthony Brantley have found a new scam. The new scam is led by Terence Michael Drew and Mark Anthony Brantley, who have joined forces in one purpose. That is to sell our land, yes, our land, which is absolutely a core part of our sovereignty. They talk about protecting the environment and sovereignty. But our land, as I said, is a core part of our sovereignty. Yes, land is a fundamental part of sovereignty, because without land, our federation will have no defined territory over which to exercise supreme authority. Here in the Caribbean and especially in St. Kitts Nevis, the core of our problem is not our geography or our economy. The core problem is the quality of leadership we elect. Too many of our leaders chase short-term deals over long-term vision. Our leaders all align themselves with foreign billionaires while ignoring the potential of their own people. They ignore you and I. Our leaders are all prepared, I should say, to serve party politics instead of the best public interests. Meanwhile, local farmers struggle to lease 2 acres of land. Young people can't afford to buy land. Families go hungry while arable land lies fenced off behind private property signs. Is this what independence should look like? My brothers and sisters of St. Kitts and Nevis, I say hell no. And tonight, I came with fire in my soul and duty in my heart. I came before you not just as a voice of reason, not just as a defender of our patrimony, but as a protector of the people of this Twin Island Federation. Because what has just taken place under the cloak of sustainability is nothing short of betrayal. The so-called Special Sustainability Zone Authorization legislation rushed through the Parliament with unholy speed, was passed without one single consultation with the people. Not one. This is a democracy. It's not a dictatorship. And yet, our voices, our concerns, our very stake in this land were ignored, erased, and discarded. They dressed it up with fancy language, called it part of the Sustainable Island State agenda. But let's not be fooled. The real CISA stands for something else. Sale of Islands Swiftly Approved. That's right. What we are witnessing is not development, it's dispossession. The federal government and the NIA have launched the most shameless land grab in the history of our federation, selling off our lands in minimum tracts of 500 acres and 700 acres respectively. Who among us can afford that? Not the farmer, not the young entrepreneur, not the struggling division family. This is not a plan for the people. This is a scheme for billionaires. And let me say this loud and clear. The CBI is dying. It's been diluted, cheapened, sold off to the highest bidder under the guise of sustainability. This administration has introduced a new scam, a new form of corruption. This is not leadership. It is downright looting. Let's end with Nevis. We know that the Nevis Island administration owns no land. So how will they create these zones? 500 acres special zones as a minimum. The only way is through eminent domain, seizing land from private citizens. That's right. Your land, land passed down by your forefathers, land you've worked, built on, and cherished. And for what? So a government can sell it to another private investor. That is not development. That is theft. Thievery. This is not just immoral. This is illegitimate. This is illegal, and it must be resisted with every legal, political, and moral tool that you have. Ask yourselves, what kind of government steals from its own people to benefit outsiders? What kind of leader enriches their billionaire friends while shutting out their own citizens. We say to the Prime Minister, you may have passed the legislation, but you have not passed the will of the people. We will not be silenced. We will not be displaced. We will not allow our homeland to be auctioned off to the elite while our children are left with nothing but memories. This is our land. This is our home. This is our inheritance. And we must say with one voice, hands off our land. Hands off of Nevis. Hands off the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. The people, this is your fight too. To the youth, this is your fight as well. To the farmers, your soil must be protected. To the business owners, your right to invest must be defended. To the families, your land must not be stolen in broad daylight. Let them know the fight has just begun. And we will not stop until justice is restored and the soul of our nation is saved. Let us say, hell no to the revised CISA, Sale of Islands, swiftly approved. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I must thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I must thank you, the many viewers, those who just perhaps listen to your telephone, those who called, and those who sent emails. Remember, every single one of you are the ones who make Straight Talk. And for that, I say a big, big thank you. Remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Dog family, until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and all whom you meet. And remember, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and